Hi everybody, hello, welcome back to our drawing mini-series. This was day one, and before I go any further, just thank you so much to everybody who's giving us a go and is posting their artworks on the Miss Paints a Lot Facebook page. I can't believe how many of you are doing this, and I'm so heartened by it. Thank you so much. So this was our day one, and most of you managed that. All of the ones I've seen, you managed it with no problem whatsoever. This was day three, because mine are out of sync a little bit, which was the toadstools. And once again, great. Everybody did so well. With all the texture and everything, you did so well. This was day two, which was our tulip, and I've just seen Michelle Fenskay's one just before I came to video this, but all of them, they're fabulous. Yours was great, as was everybody else's. I'm not picking favourites, I just happened to see Michelle's. So this is us on to day four, and I thought I'd introduce a bit of something different really. So what I've done is I've got myself a tag that I'd cut out, and this measures, it's quite a big tag actually, it's 8 inches by 4 1/4, and I just put it down on there. I got my stencil out. I happen to have an A4 stencil. You don't have to have a stencil that's this size, just keep moving it around. So I held that in place, and I just went round with two colours, which were bundled sage and dried marigold, a much underused colour, I'll say, dried marigold. It's a lovely colour, quite a soft, peachy sort of colour. I just used my brushes to just go through the stencil and give us this, which now gives us a tag. So I think that we'll feel that we're working on something that we would perhaps be working on in kind of real life, not just drawing practice, but something to put in our journals. So today we're back to the florals. I haven't really practiced this one very much, so I hope it goes all right. And I want it to be kind of L-shaped. Kind of that whoa, not that shape, that's a bit wonky. Kind of that shape. So I'll draw that in so you can see what I'm thinking. Right, there we are. So down here where these intersect, down this bottom left hand corner, I'm just going to draw, I'm going to attempt to draw in two flowers, not dissimilar from the dog roses that we had on day one, but there will be two of them this time. So let's just make a start along here, just with the petals again. So I know that you know how to do this, because we've already done it. So it's 5 petals in my flowers. You can make more if you wish. Definitely you can. That's coming at the wrong angle there. We're all a bit off kilter here. That's not too bad like that, I don't think. I think that might be all right. So then I'm just going to draw in my edges that are rolled over, because they just make it look just that little bit more real. Like that. And this one like that. So there we are. Right. So I'll come back to that. That's very rough. I'll draw my centre in. It's a good idea sometimes to draw your centre in before you put your petals, and then you can see where you're aiming for with your petals. Okay, so now I want to put another flower in here, and it's going to be behind this one. This is going to be in front. So where to start? Let's start about here. So this is sort of on its side. Two petals, 3 petals, but that's all we can see because it's behind. But the front one of this one is squashed that way with this flower. So we want to draw that petal in. You'll see it more clearly once I start to erase some lines. Rather too many lines here for you to see what's going on. This is the front petal here, belonging to this flower. So I'm going to make it shorter so it's easier for you to see. So I'm going to put it like that, and this is the bit that's curled over on that one. This is the petal, or two petals it should be, I suppose, belonging to this flower. And it's curved over that way. So when we come to put the shading in, we'll make sure that we've got the right shading. So I'm just going to put my curly bits on the edges of my petals, like so. And it just, you'll see when it's shaded. I appreciate it's not looking great at the moment, but we'll come back and we'll put some shading on. So going up here, I want to have a stem, sort of twisting around like that, not too far up. I'm going to put a leaf at the top. And then here, I'm just going to bring this off and have two little, don't know what they are, could be buds, could be anything. I'm going to carry this stem on a little bit further, and I'm going to have a couple of buds, little, well, seeds, I don't know what they are, might even be a different plant altogether. And then off here I'm going to put a leaf just to balance that one. And here I'm going to have some of those little doodahs coming out. Then down here I'm going to have a leaf. And maybe some little doodies. And then along here I'm going to have a leaf here. Oops. And some of those little things, whatever they may be, and a couple more of them here. Right, so we've only got 3 leaves. We've got some of these little funny things, whatever they are. I don't know, just like the look of them, so I'll put them in. We've got this, when you're drawing this at home, don't make your lines quite so heavy. I just wanted to put them in so you could see. Right, so now I'm going to go over this flower. So, well, let's get rid of this line first, and then you might be able to see what's going on. There we are. Got rid of a bit of my stem there. And this one in here. There we go. Right, so I was trying to move that. I thought it was loose on top, but it's not. Let's just get back to doing this. So here's our centre. So we know now where we're going to. So the petals are coming into the centre and then out, round and back in. And they've just got a little curl on them like that. So this one's coming out from the centre, same line as that, coming round and back in, and it's just got a little curl on it like that. This one is coming down a bit further. You don't want them to all look the same, and in, and a little curl. And this one a bit squarer than the others, and a little curl there. And then this one, our last one, it's coming from the centre and it's quite square and back in, and I don't like where I've put that curl, so that's what erasers were invented for. So I'm just going to put that there. So it's curling in, and in the centre it's very, from the centre out, make your marks. It's quite sort of hairy in the middle of this. I don't know why, it just is. So that will be the centre of that one. So you can see that one clearly now. So now we'll move on to the one on the back that's up against it on the back. So all you can see really are the 3 petals, but the other 2, the front 2, are squashed over like that. So you're seeing the back of the petals. There's your petals here that you can see, and it's squashed over. So these ones here, you're only seeing the back. So let's draw the 3 in that you can see. The centre will be there. Let's draw that in so we know where that is. So the petals are coming down towards the centre. This one is another one that you can see the right way. Then this one, that's got a leaf there that's chopping that off. So that's as far as we can go with this one. So let's just draw our little curls in. And we can't see any more of that because the leaf is in front of it. Then we've got the 2 petals that we're seeing the back of. I'm just going to rub those out from before. So we can see this one, and we can see this one, and that's the back. So we can't see any curls on it because the curls are going that way and we can't see that way. So that's what we can see. And we can see the centre, which will be there. And it's hairy. But don't bring the hairs down onto these front ones. It's all happening behind it. So let's just do that. Make sure we've got a centre, and this, make sure we've got a centre. So lots of little thin lines till you've covered that centre up completely. There we go. That's fine. So this one you can see is turning round to come in. This one is turning round to come in, apart from the front 2 petals. So let's just bring that up so you can see that. So take a screenshot of that if you want to at this moment, so you can see what's going on. Okay, now looking at that, I think this petal looks a bit fat. So I'm just going to rub that off and bring that down to here. I think that would be better. So we can see all of that leaf now and all of that petal. Okay, then it's just a simple matter then of putting your bits of ornamentation, I suppose they are in. So I'm just going to draw my wiggly stem down there, my little doodies at the top. This leaf, and this one. Oh, that's way off where I drew the first one, but I quite like it there, so we're all right. Let's just erase the first lot of lines. There we go. And this one. And then this leaf. If it helps you, turn your pad right round and do it the other way up. Whatever's comfortable for you. I don't like that coming out of there. So this is the stage to go around and put right all the things that you're not happy with. Let's have some coming out of here as well, shall we? There we are. And then this leaf here. and the little doodies. So there we are. I'm not going to shade it too much because I have another idea of what I want to do with mine. Excuse me. But that's mine, and I know you can do it. It's nothing that we didn't do on day one. The only different thing is that this flower is lying at a different angle than the big flower that we did on day one. But that is the only difference, just that flower. So concentrate on that. You can see these 3 petals, the same as the one in front, but these 2 petals, it's the back of them that you're seeing. So there's no folded up bits because you can only see those from the front, and we're looking at the back. And make sure you get your centre in, and don't bring the centre over these 2 front petals because you can't see it, it's behind them. So that's that. Now I'm going to go around mine with my fine liner, and I'll show you why in a minute. I mean, I always do it, but particularly in this instance. So I'm going to make my wiggly lines and my seed heads or whatever they are. I know that some of you, perhaps even I'd say most of you, don't like the wiggly lines. I mean, you can draw over them straight over your pencil lines if you want to, if you don't want it wiggly, which is fine. But just for what I have in mind for this one today, I wanted to do my fine liner particularly. That's a leaf. Oh, and then we're into the flower, so draw around that petal and the little curly bit, this one, and the little curly bit, and then we need our centre in. Nice and dark. Like that. And then the front 2 petals. There we are, and then we're into the big flower at the front. So 1 petal. 2. I just make 5 petals, and I've no idea why. It's just kind of what I do. You don't have to make 5. I just think the eye reads odd numbers very well. It doesn't automatically read even numbers quite so well. So you tend to, in art, you tend to stick to odd numbers. So just like we made the grasses yesterday, not quite so long, we just put in that centre, that sort of hairy centre in. Right, so now I want to erase all of my pencil lines. Hopefully. So I can I've just left with the fine liner marks. And I hope you can see how this would go really nicely on a tag for your journal. And you know, you've got the pride of, you drew it. You drew the tag that's in your journal. Amazing. I think that's about it. You could, you know, if you want to, I'm not a card maker, but if you wanted to put this on a card, it would be lovely, I think. Just maybe a sentiment there or some more stenciling in the background. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the two colours that I've already used. And I'm not going to get fussy about this. Not fussy or fancy or anything. Sorry, Nancy. Nancy always is fancy. So I'm going to use I'll use the dried marigold first. So I'm just picking up the colours that I've used in the background here. That was the brush I used. So it isn't colouring in. We're not colouring them in. We're just going to go over them and the outside as well. Doesn't matter. With this dried marigold. It's just a hint of what's there. And then I'm going to get the bundled sage out. Which brush was I using for that? Must have been this one, I think. And I'm just going to go over the leaves. Right over them. So there we are, that's that. There is my today's offering with a very contemporary way of colouring things in. If you want to, you can spend hours doing yours. It's absolutely yours to do with as you wish and do whatever makes you proud. I just think that's, I like that sort of colouring in. I see it in art books and stuff, you know, where yes, the colour's there and the object is there, but they're not necessarily exactly following each other, and I kind of like that. So that's today's. I don't know where I'm going to sign this, down here I think. But if you do something like that, you can of course cut it out and you can of course use it, which is wonderful. That would be fabulous. So thank you so much for joining me today. Please try. The only tricky bit that you've got is the way that this flower here is lying. That's the only bit that you've really got to stop and think about. So just think that you're looking at the back of these two petals, and everything else is fine. You'll easily get it. I know you will, because it's just, we did pretty much all of this on day one. So thanks very much for joining me. I hope you're enjoying this little series. If you ever stop enjoying it, let me know and I'll just stop doing them. You know, I want to do them because I want you to be able to know that you can draw, because you can. You absolutely can. So look forward to seeing you versions of this in the Miss Paint-A-Lot Junk Journal group. Thanks for joining me and see you again very soon. Bye.